Hello. I forgot to post this one. So anyway, the last recording was corrupted. So we have here the chapter 5, the fifth chapter. I'm really sorry for forgetting. No, ang akong gi-post lang was chapter 6 on courtship, marriage and family, and I forgot to post on this topic, no, which is very important labi na sa criminology, no, and also sa nursing population, no. I think this is important sa inyo labi na on the idea of, or naambot lang napababa mo katuin nyo hang clinical nga na pagka clinical setting subject. I forgot about that. Psyche, I don't know. Anyway, so we are on chapter 5, deviance. Okay? Deviance is, according diri sa atong kuan, is the violation of established contextual, cultural, or social norms, whether folkways, mores, or codified laws. Okay, so what does it mean by this? By the definition itself, no. So deviance is what? A violation of the norm, diba? We have discussed the norms, right? It's the box wherein everybody is supposed to butanta to behave in a uniform manner, no. So that's the norm, right? Because again, the norm helps the society survive. Uniformity helps society survive because it lessens the probability of chaos. It lessens the probability of uh, unknown factors that might cause, problems uh, with the future of the society. So inana. So that's why we have these norms, and that's why uh, medyo rigid ang pag-obey sa society ani. Because we can't have a society nga fluid ang iyang norms, or rather too fluid to the point nga everybody could act the way they do, or too liberated in a sense. What would happen? Would that be chaotic siya sa society, no? So we have folkways, mores, and codified law. Codified law means written law sa pang gobyerno. So it's part of that, no. Ang actually atong norms is part of that. That's why there's also a problem if the government does not represent the nation and the values it stands upon. So inana, gets ninyo what what do I mean by this? If the government nga nasa power, nasa position, does not represent the nation or the group of people nga iyang ginadumalaan, what happens is that that form of governance is alienated from the nation it serves. Dili siya kasabot sa unsay needs, unsay tawag ani, unsay needs, unsay customs, unsay traditions, unsay beliefs sa nation nga yang ginadumalaan. So what happens is that dili effective ang iyahang governance, right? And so therein lies the problem. So what do I mean by this sa codified law is that ang gobyerno nato is a reflection of our culture. And so one yun na siya. And so the laws nga ginapass dira basically is the reflection of the values that we stand upon as a nation. So inana. Okay. Anyway, so also the term deviance has a negative connotation, but basically it's not necessarily bad. In a way nga deviance could also serve some sort of good para sa society, no. At some point we need deviance so we know how to act according Accordingly, if naay deviant sa society, we know how to respond, right? We know the values nga atong i butanta i-attribute towards that person or towards that behavior. Okay? So that uh and also the term deviant behavior, na dili siya, it cannot be answered in a way nga straightforward or specific or accurate nga naman, because daghan siya factors nga gina-consider. Location, ang lugar kung asa nimo gibuhat ang behavior, right? Asa nimo gi-display ang behavior. Ang audience, kinsay katan-aw, right? And also the individual committing the act. What do I mean by this? If ang location, if for example, for a Western person nga nudist, okay, ganahan siya maghubo, or rather, wala siya paki if maghubo siya dira. If iyan ang i-display nga behavior in a country such as sa Philippines, that would be a deviant behavior, right? Of course, the audience would be the Filipino people, and then okay, unsay ginabuhat aning nudist dire, right? But sa individual pod nga level, para sa yaha, of course that would not be deviant. That would not be a form of deviancy sa iyang baruganan, because mogod iyang gituhuan. But then again, location, audience wise, that is a deviant nga behavior. So that one. We have the types of deviance here, overconformity and underconformity. Kay lagi dili man nato ma-set kung dito ma-set accurately which behaviors are deviant and which is not, no? So we have a range, no, wherein the extreme right and the extreme left. Extreme right would be overconformity, sobraan kag conform sa norms, still deviancy gyapon na siya. Why? Because as human as you are, you have some quirks, weirdness tawag pa nga, you will have this tendency to deviate at some point, right? So that's overconformity. Underconformity would be it's a negative deviance, no? You underconform to the social expectation, no? So you either reject the institution, misinterpret the laws or the norms or whatever, no? So you have the examples there. Yes, the perfect student example, wherein you're very competitive sa imong classmates so that you can get that perfect score every time, no? So I mean, that's a good thing, but if mulagi, because people are not perfect, you know, and so if you're striving hard to become a perfect student and it causes you anxiety and too much stress if dili ka maabot ana nga standard, then I think that falls under the category of overconformity, or such as wala ka nga ang musical instrument nga piano is pambabae and ang musical instrument nga guitar is panlalaki. That's actually overconformity, no? So kana. Okay. Under conformity, of course, we have these types of, for example, this type of students nga gakating classes, katulog sa classroom, no? These are the negative nga deviance nga type. Or kanang gapang vandalize, so di ba kanang gapang vandal sa CR, so that's gitawag nga underconformity. So in this setting, no, let me just say this, nobody is normal. Okay? Nobody is too normal. So mura pud na siya. Najud kay quirks as human as you are. That's why we have a range. No, we have overconformity and then we have underconformity. And in between that, dira na din ma-fall ang normal nga population, the normal bell curve, kay mo fall ka on a range of behavior nga basically acceptable. Nalay ka weirdohan gamay but acceptable ra. So still a form of deviance, pero if it does not hurt anyone, no, so ma-tolerate na siya. There are pod mo gawas ang concept sa tolerance. Is your deviancy or is your deviancy tolerable sa majority sa population? For example, we talk to ourselves, right? We talk to ourselves aloud, and kana siya nga behavior, that's still considered normal. But what if we talk to ourselves butanta on a daily basis, every day, every moment, every minute, no? Wherein magyaw-yaw na lang juga ikaw ra isa, no? That would be a problem for many people, right? So medyo di na pud kanila ma-tolerate at that point, no? But di pud kanila mapapriso just because you're talking to yourself, right? So inana. So social control, no? So this would be the regulation of our behavior, no? So the norms, rules, laws, and social structures of society. As I've said, society wants uniformity. Why? Because mas less ang probability of mutanta of not surviving of chaos, no, so inana, or disorder or anarchy. Okay, social order, the arrangement of practices and behaviors on which society members base their daily lives. So there's a social order, and so if kanang order maguba, then you would have to rearrange the norms that you have, right? Sanctions, these are the actually na-discuss na nato ni before, no? Anyway, sanctions would be the consequences of your behavior. It could be positive as well as negative sanction. You go to school and you get good grades, that's a positive na consequence. You don't go to school, you get failing grades, that's a negative nga consequence. You submit a paper written by you have, and you get good grades, that's positive sanctions. You submit a paper which is plagiarized all through and through, you get a failing grade, that's a negative sanction. What else? Daghan kag behavior nga almost all of your behavior has positive and negative nga consequences. Depende sa how it fits to the norm, no? Mostly manggod is if atong behavior, I'm not saying all, but mostly if atong behavior mo fits sa narrative, sa norms, then we get the positive consequence. If atong behavior falls to the negative, or rather falls to the part wherein wala kay siya ni abot ni igo sa norms, sa borders sa norms, then negative ang atong gitawag nga consequences. Informal, face-to-face social interaction, no? Pwede. Or informal sanctions would be wala siya space, no? Pasaylo ako. Informal sanctions. So informal sanctions would be, in a way, an example would be, sige, example, dili ka ganahan maligo or dili ka hilig maligo, and so you go to school, you attend your classes, wala kay ligo, right? And so you interact with your classmates and wala kay ligo, and so libakon kasi yung classmates, right? Uy, ayog dula na niya, wala siya ligo, baho na siya nga tao, and so on and so forth, right? That's informal sanction. the act nga gilibak kanila is an informal sanction. Nga naman, because di kanila pwede mampapriso kay wala kay ligo, right? The only thing that they could do is to give a negative review of your hygiene, no? Or likayan kanila or libakon kanila, or nobody would try to make friends with you kay inana. Informal sanctions. Okay. Formal sanctions would be, of course, you enforce, rather, you go against the norms sa society, and so kaning at norms are medyo rigid ni siya because these are laws mostly, and so medyo formal ang iyahang consequences, or rather medyo concrete ang iyang consequences, kay you have started to what, to become an a danger sa society. Sana. What do I mean by this? Sige. Informal sanctions. A person who is homosexual could still be respected, no, even if deviant siya under sa face sa majority. Deviant gyapon siya because minority sila, and then their behavior does not fall sa within the norms basically. So deviant gyapon sila, but they could still be respected. They could still be a butanta contributing member sa society. So, and walay tao nga, like in our country, walay tao nga gipriso kay tumboy or bayot ka, right? So wala. So the informal sanctions would be nala informal sanctions, but like you could face discrimination from a small number of people, right? So formal sanction, prisuhon jud ka in a way nga you will become a danger to society. So being a homosexual, as we speak, you're not a danger to society, right? You do not pose an immediate danger to society. But if you are a pedophile, then you are a danger to society because you prey on the young and the innocent, the future of the nation or the society. So, pwede ka prisuhon. Right? Mangawat ka, pwede ka prisuhon. Mag-vandalize ka, damage to property, pwede ka prisuhon. Why? Because you are becoming a danger sa other people. So, we also have the notion that the laws and norms nga naa nato are also playing a role in terms of protecting you or protecting others from you or protecting you from other people, right? And since ang goal is survival, so we have that, right? Because sa laws and sa norms, you are protected. If walay laws and norms, imagine, pwede na kawato ng imuhang motor anytime I want because I like that, no? So, and since walay laws and walay norms, so walay laws, and so wala, right? That would be total chaos, no? You just grab what you want, no? Pare sa katong riots sa US, like, they grab what they want, no? So, anyway, theories of deviant behavior, social pathology. Deviant behaviors caused by people with actual physical and mental illness, malfunctions, or deformities. So, it could be true that people with mental illnesses, you know, could behave in a way that's deviant, but not all are butanta not all pose an immediate danger. But yes, it could be true, no? But some people with mental illnesses or some people with who are mentally challenged are actually trying so hard to emulate a normal nga behavior sa society because they want to be integrated sa society. They don't want to be outcasts. So, but with this perspective, pwede na to gamiton that like drug addiction daw is a form of illness, no? So kana, and so their behavior are basically their deviancy falls on the category sa social pathology. No, we have biological theory. Deviant behavior is a result of aberrant genetic traits in such cases as mental illness, criminality, and homosexuality. Yes, this could be true, but this does not cover the whole range of deviant behavior that we have sa society, because you can't just say nga kani nga tao deviant because iyang papa is deviant, right? You can't just say that. But there are cases nga ang criminality runs in the family. And you could say, di ba na siya biological? Pwede di siya biological. Pwede po siya biological through what we call the I forgot the term. Epigenetic traits, right? So pwede na to makuha ang mga deviant behavior through that. No, but that would be a correlation, not a causality. What do I mean by this? There could be a chance, no, but dili gid siya gitawag nga cause and effect nga relationship, right? Psychological theory, deviant behavior is brought about by deviant impulses towards sexuality and aggression, and that's true, no? Frustrations, traumatic nga experiences, or exposure to models of violent behavior, reinforcement for aggressive acts, no, or psychological nga mga factors could lead to deviant behavior. This is actually true. And since this definition is psychodynamic by nature, no, deviant behavior is, or could be, ang root causes sa deviant behavior is unconscious nga mga motivations. Pwede. Because most of our mental processes falls on the unconscious nga level. No. Social disorganization theory, deviant behavior is caused by the breakdown of the norms, laws, and morals and other important values of the people. And so if these values and the institutions wherein that value is represented disintegrate siya, what would happen is, of course, deviant behavior could rise from that. An example would be the dissolution of the institution of family. Kana. If, for example, ako lalaki, and what I do is that i-abandon ako the institution. For example, I choose one day, di ko ganan may mga man, gikapoy kog trabaho, and so I would get all my money, and then I would disregard my role as a father sa akong mga anak, and I would go to a different city, and then magwalwal ko dito. Sorry for the terms akong gigamit, no? And then boom, what would happen would be my children would grow up in a family nga walay papa. This is actually happening sa mga African American nga culture sa US, the fatherless culture. And so one of the correlation that they found out was that daghan kayog cases sa mga fatherless nga children sa black communities sa US. I'm not saying all, but daghan. And so that also gives light sa fact nga daghan pod og, or rather taas ang rate of criminality among young black ng mga teenagers sa US. That's not a causality. That's a correlation. Why is that? Social disorganization. Naay na guba nga institution, and so what happens is that labi na ka ng family, it's the basic, right? So it dissolves, and so mawala iyang function, ang iyang role, ang iyang values, and so everybody is left to fend for themselves. And so ang isa ka bata ang gadako and wala siya father figure, asa na niya pangitaon? Muna po na ang question. In a community that's riddled with crime, no, so asan niya pangitaon ang model? Imagine, use your imagination, asan niya pangitaon ang model for an authority figure which is masculine, no? Of course, no, the person could look at the feminine nga authority figure. Yes, that could be done. But how about the masculine nga authority figure? These two are important in growing up. Right? You have the affection of the feminine and the affection of the masculine. These two are very different. No, although parehas sila nga affection, parehas sila nga gitawag nga parental love, but the way it's expressed towards dira sa bata and the way it's processed by the child is different, no, nagvary, no. So what would happen if isa anak mawala? So that's social disorganization. Labeling theory, as I've said, no, the game of society is the game of numbers, no. So if mas daghan, if majority ni, then that would their norms would be obeyed, labi na sila ang majority. It's unfair, yes, that's part of the game, no. The thing with labeling theory is that when there are certain behaviors that are labeled as deviant, and so it becomes deviant behavior. As simple as that. Even if wala siya gahatag og negative nga consequence, or rather wala siya negative nga effect sa people, but since gitag siya as deviant, then that behavior is deviant regardless. No, we have anomy theory, no. Anomy theory would be when the goals and means sa isa ka nation or sa isa ka society are not in harmony. Anomy or normlessness is the result. So inana, such as you have the butanta nakay aim, right? You want to be rich, for example, and so that's your goal, but the means towards that goal is ginalimit sa government. For example, in a communist society, for example, di ka pwede mahimong engineer, taman lang ka, dapat kuan ka, dapat mag farmer ka, di ka pwede ma-engineer, no? So you would be given a land and a house and everything, pero you would not go up the ladder because the idea is dira ang gihatag sa imo, that's your responsibility, that's your role. And so what happens is that you have no means para sa imong kaugalingon to achieve your goals. Okay? And so from that process nga naay friction, naay dako nga friction between what the state wants and what you want as an individual, and kana imong ganahan, imong aspirations, walay means para makuha nimo, and naay gitawag nga dili ma-establish ang norms sa behavior, right, in that process. And so what happens is, of course, deviancy would occur, no. Value conflict theory, no. The conflicting values between two poles, whether it's group or by individuals, no? If na conflict sa value, and then of course nagi conflict between the individual or between the group, and then here's the thing, no. If na conflicting sides, most of the time we view the other group as a deviant, no. Why? Because wala man ga-align atong values, and so the way sila mulihok is always deviant from the way ta mulihok, and vice versa. And so magkadako ang conflict, of course, without proper negotiation and without proper deliberation, maganda ko ang conflict. Conflict theory, on the other hand, kay kang Marx na siya, that the other one, sorry, kay the other one is value conflict, right? Conflict theory is kang Marx, no, na ay unequal distribution of wealth, power, and prestige in society, and so this is unjust ang social structure, and so it causes deviant behavior among the people sa society. Medyo if in first glance no mo na kang di man din siya sakto man din si Marx, but actually sayop siya in a way nga kaning unequal or rather inequality sa society is a consequence of you being free to pursue what you want, right? And so for example, duwa mo ka friends, and so you'd want to be police of officers in the future. Sige, gusto mo mahimong police, right? And so the idea with that is you could go for what you want, pero lagi isa magansi. But not because na isa magansi, wala na lang dayon. Gets ninyo? Gusto mo may mong pulis. Ang isa dili pa siya makapa-enroll kay wala siya tuition. Ang isa na siya kwarta so makapa-enroll siya. And of course, unequal, right? Dili siya fair. And so, would it be fair to say nga, dili na lang sila paskwelahon ng duwa. Wala na lang mahimong pulis. Right? No. The idea is it's always unfair. No, but that does not limit you, right? Because this person, si person A nay kwarta, yes, nay kwarta, but napod siya free will, unsaon niyang kwarta, and whether tarungon niya gamit or dili. Person B, wala siya kwarta, but napod siya means. Pwede siya makapangitag means para ma-achieve ang iyang goal. Dili pwede nga musulti ta kay walay kwarta ang isa, wala na tanan. Dili pod pwede. Right, it's one of the consequences sa butanta that we have to face in a free nga society. Same ra gud na sa pag na ay corrupt nga of government official, and so you are free to protest. Protest all you want there because you're free to do so. So in a communist society, no, you can't do that. In a tyrannical nga state, you can't do that. And so muna siya ang ginabarugan ni Marx nga theory. And lastly, cultural transmission or differential association. Imagine mo adto kag US, dugay na kagadako diri sa Philippines. What happens would be some of the behaviors that you have nga nakuha diri, dalon nimo didto, some of it are deemed to be deviant, no, in relation sa broader society because it's a game of numbers. So inana. So and it's also not your culture. No, so inana. Cultural transmission is na ay transmission of norms from one community to other. No. But that doesn't mean that sort of norm would be accepted readily by the bigger society. And so it needs time. Right? Pero sa una, no, a while back, like 10 years ago, nga mga example ng mga K-pop people, ha, they're actually fans of K-pop groups nga dugay na kaayo since they were in high school, right? And so, but then sa una mo siya gitawag nga di pa siya mainstream actually. Gagmay pa sila nga group, and then they would be like sila lang yun, no, appreciate their own clique, their own group nga nasa ray common ground, which is kato mga K-pop nga band. And somehow kana siya nga norms, kana siya sa una would be branded as murag deviant, labi na kung magkanta-kanta ka, right, o Korean songs way back, no, nun sa man murag dili kay siya accepted, right? Or rather dili kay siya common. And so it's a deviant behavior. But then again, what happens is across time, their culture na na-transmit na sa broader culture. And so what you hear now sa radio stations would be of course mga Korean songs mixed with Tagalog songs and English songs and so on. And so it's not branded as na inana ka hardline nga deviant, no, but rather it's branded as, yes, it's not with really within the norms, pero it's acceptable na as a sort of butanta deviancy. Kay, of course, no, ni-transmit na siya. And so that ends our topic on deviancy. That actually is chapter 5. Anyway, kato. So, I hope you study, no? And I hope wala na yung mag-plagiarize, and I hope makapasa tanan. Okay. Bye.